Shogore said something yesterday that Omotosho would one day bow and ask Nnamdi Kanu for forgiveness. When I heard that statement, my mind quickly went back to history. All through history, there have been freedom fighters who were jailed untruly. And after many years, the same court, and sometimes even the same judge, later admitted they were wrong. One perfect example is Aung San Suu Kyi of Myanmar. She was kept under house arrest for many years simply because she was fighting for democracy. The military controlled the court, so judges sentenced her even when she knew she committed no crime. But when the country later opened up politically, the same legal system that once punished her went back and cancelled many of the old judgments. Some judges openly admitted that those convictions were wrong and forced on them by the government. The people who once said she was guilty later came back to say she should never have been punished. Another deep example is Anatoly Mancheko of the Soviet Union. He was a writer who spoke against oppression, and for that, he was repeatedly sent to prison on fake charges. Judges in those days acted under pressure from the Soviet government. So they jailed him even when everyone knew he was only telling the truth. Years later, when the Soviet Union began to change, many of those old convictions were overturned. Legal authorities admitted publicly that Mancheko and other dissidents were punished unjustly. Some judges even wrote that he was sentenced for his courage, not for any crime. It shows that time can expose the truth, and the same hands that signed the injustice may later be the ones to erase it. A familiar example is Mahatma Gandhi. When the British jailed him in 1922, the judge who sentenced him said something unusual. Right there in the courtroom, he admitted that Gandhi was a great man and that he was only sending him to prison because he was forced to do so. Years later, when India became independent, many British officials and legal authorities confessed that Gandhi's conviction was unjust and politically motivated. The system that tried to break him later bowed to his truth. Even Martin Luther King Jr. went through this. He was arrested several times during the civil rights movement in America. Judges who treated him as a criminal later came out publicly to say that jailing him was wrong. Some even admitted they misunderstood the movement and failed to stand on the right of history. As time passed, the same society that locked him up later honored him as a hero. Just look at these stories together, you will see a clear pattern. You will see a clear transformation. Freedom fighters are often jailed when their messages threatens those in power. Courts and judges sometimes become tools used to silence them. But with time, the government fail. The truth rise, and the same justice system that once condemned them later confessed it made a mistake. History shows over and over again that injustice can last for a moment, but truth has the patience to wait for its own victory.